Alright, guys. You know what it is. We just finished Mafia 2. Don't mind that. I know you saw that. Don't mind that. We just finished Mafia 2. We just did all 3 DLC. So I'm gonna I'm gonna give a little thought and review to it. This is not gonna be serious. This is not gonna be well structured. This is not probably even good critique, if you're picky, but I just beat the game. I beat the whole game. I'm gonna give my own personal thoughts on it. There's not a free ride in this, which I'm just noticing, because I was gonna, do free ride and drive around and talk, but I guess we'll just load this one. Yeah, let's hope this isn't a prison mission, but whatever. So yeah, like I said, you don't have to take any of this seriously. You guys can think your own things. This is just what I think after beating the game myself. So I guess we should start with the good. But I feel like I couldn't really think. Skip this. I feel like I couldn't really think of a lot of good. Oh my god, this is the mission. This is the mission. Okay, whatever. I feel like I couldn't think of a lot of good. So what I put, if I think of more later, I'll throw it in. I'm not just. How do you call it?
Empire Base.
Nobody cares about all this. We're gonna turn on. You know what? I lied. We'll do it like this. Okay, there. But no, if I think of more to add to the good section or the bad section, I'll just throw that in. But I do have a tiny bit written down. Normally I go into these I'm just fucking raw dogging these reviews, but with the DLC and everything, this was such a long game compared to what we normally play. So I wanted to add a little bit more. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab a beer. Okay, so I'll start now. So the good things about this game. The first thing I really liked was that... Oh, this is the truck driving mission. I thought this was the Tommy mission. But, the first thing I really liked about this game is it is a completely different take on Mafia. Joining a Mafia compared to Mafia 1. Because for Tommy kind of just got he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He got forced in. He didn't get forced into it. He chose it. But after Tommy joined, obviously he had to do terrible things, but his experience compared to Vito's, I would say is a mostly positive one. You know what? Shut up. Cut off the last hour. The last one mission of Mafia 1, and I would say that Tommy, they can do that. That's beautiful. I would say Tommy had a relatively good time in the Mafia. He got very rich. He found a wife. He had a daughter. He bought a house. He was like Don Morello's or Don Salieri's favorite person. He was the best driver. He was the best gunner. Vito, on the other hand, is a dude who knew a bad kid as a teenager, and then him and Joe, when they were younger, were doing a job. They were robbing that jewelry store, if you remember the opening cutscene. But so Vito got caught, and he either had to go to jail or join the military. So he joined the military, and he got drafted for 3 or 4 years, I want to say. And he was supposed to go back even longer if Joe and Giuseppe didn't help him out. But once he gets back, he meets up with Joe, hey Joe, again, and another job goes south, and then Vito has to spend 6 years in prison. Dog. Just think about the end of Mafia 1. For everything Tommy did, he got 8 years in prison, but for the federal tax stamp thing, Vito got 10. Obviously you can be like, oh, he got a sweetheart deal. Dude, Tommy admitted to killing at least 3 politicians and a whole lot of other hits. So I always thought that was kind of goofy that Vito got 10 years, but Tommy got 8. But yeah, you could say he should have gotten 50, and they gave him less than 10 as a sweetheart. But still, so Vito got drafted. He comes back, he tries again, he goes to prison. But then in the prison, he meets Leo Galante. He meets his first big mafia person, because before that you met Luca and them, but Luca and the other dude are just some small fry. Well, they're kind of a medium-sized fish that's trying to pick on the small fries. But Leo Leo's like up there in the council or whatever. They kept talking about some like out of town council or something that I never really picked up. I don't know. But no, I do really like that this is like a totally different take on joining the Mafia, because like Tommy pretty good until the end when he started to flip on the family, but Vito just and then even after Vito comes back and gets out of prison, he finally joins the actual Mafia, finds out one of the members killed his dad, like drowned his dad in a lake and then lied about it, and then he kills him, and then his mentor is the hit target for his friend that he's trying to bring into the Mafia too. And then at the end, the very end with Joe, Joe flips on Falcone for Vito. So Vito and Joey do it together, but then at the end, Vito and Joe get separated, and most likely Joe dies. They killed him for his involvement. Vito was spared because of the Falcone hit. So I do really like that. Completely different takes, but it's still like somewhat related to the original story, because when you have it in Empire Bay versus Lost Heaven, because I don't know if you remember, I talked about the radio a lot in Mafia 1. In Mafia 1, they had like a huge baseball tournament or baseball game going on, and it was between Empire Bay, our guys, and Lost Heaven, their guys. So they do introduce it, and then obviously Vito and Joe are the ones that killed Tommy. So that's another tie-in. So for those aspects, for what they're trying to do, I would say it's really good. I would also say it's like a different kind of game, because Mafia 1 is like, I want to think about how I want to phrase this. Mafia 1 is literally mission. Because you literally just start the mission, and you don't, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we didn't have to drive to the start of every mission. The mission just started, and you were just there. Usually it started at, excuse me, at the restaurant Luigi's. And you would get like your briefing with the guys and Frank and the Don, and then you would go out and you would do your mission. But in this game, you would literally wake up in the morning, have to get dressed, and then you would like get a phone call that says like, hey, come over here, we got a job. So I feel like what this game was trying to do is, I'm gonna say it was trying to be a little more kind of role play and kind of get you like into the mindset of the character, like into Vito, because like you wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you eat food, you do the phone call, you drive from your apartment to Joe's, and then you go from Joe's to the restaurant to get the mission, and then you go with Joe and do the mission, and then you gotta drive Joe back home, and then you finally gotta drive Vito home, and that's the mission. Fuck, I punched them. Dude, I'm always punching this mic. But like yeah, Mafia 1, finish the mission, next mission. This one, you really gotta start that mission, and you really gotta finish it. You go home and that shit is done now. There's even one mission where you go home and then it's still not done because they set your house on fire. So I feel like they were kind of trying to get a different angle, like trying to get you more like attached to the character, maybe more like into the character's mindset. So I'll give them that, but I'm gonna be honest, guys. That's really all I had written down for good. That's all I could think of off the top of my head. So things I really don't like about this game, not like these aren't all necessarily like game breaking or like deal breakers, but these are things that got so fucking annoying, like with how often it comes up. So the first one is something I talked about probably like every other episode, is the cops are so wishy-washy on whether they're gonna pull you over or like notoriety you. Because like sometimes I would be going like 50 over past a cop, and he wouldn't even do anything. And then sometimes I'm going 43 in a 40, and it's like an instant like 2-star. And it's like, dude. So it's not even always like you have to be in front of the cops or like to their side. Like I was being detected like down like where that blue car is. If he was facing the other way, I could get like detected from there sometimes. And I'm like, which one is it? Because you gotta imagine from the game, from the developer's perspective, like it could be like they have like a circle around the cop car, and if you're speeding in that area, it triggers, or it's like a radius, like they have 180 degrees in front of them, and if you're speeding in that, it could be something like that. But I don't know what it is because of how like inconsistently they would target us. I'm gonna say I kind of hate that the cops can get you while you're hot wiring the car. I feel like hot wiring the car from outside, like imagine you're on like the side of the road and across the street is some dude and you see him in his car and he's like this. You're not gonna assume he's fucking hot wheeling, or not hot wheeling, hot wiring. You're gonna assume he like dropped a fucking stick of gum or something, or he's like messing with his shoes or something. You're not gonna be like. So I wish like maybe the lock picking was longer or something, because when you lock pick into a car and then you hotwire to start it, I feel like not once did I get caught during the lock picking. But you would be on like the last second of the hot wire, and they'd be like, "We got a fucking maniac out here. We're gonna need 4 automatic weapons. Get the squad out here." And you got like fucking 3 stars instantly. They set our truck on fire. That's what happened. But so yeah, I wish the cops were more consistent. See, like right there, we were going 20 over, and that cop, well, we were like 15 to 20 over, and that cop didn't care. So it's like when you gonna aggro on me and when you not gonna aggro on me. Second thing I hate, you cannot shoot while you are in the vehicle. This comes up so often, it's ridiculous. Either from you're in the car and you need to get out to do something, or you're in a gunfight and you want to get in your car really fast and go. That car is scripted to get away, so don't worry about it. But see, look at how fast he's fucking going. I'm going 100, bro. But sorry, I got a little into the moment right there. But no, oh yeah, sorry. There are like so many times where Vito is like being chased by another car, and they'll have gunmen, but you have absolutely no way to defend yourself. You're just screwed. You have to either like get out and not die while getting out and kill them, or you have to get really lucky with the drive. I imagine if you were on the harder difficulties I was going 25 over right there. I imagine if you were on the harder difficulties that you like have to stop and get out, because there's no way you could drive away from a car that has like 3 dudes with Tommy guns shooting at you. There's no way you're getting out of there, because I'm playing on like easy. I might be on normal, and I think I just did easy for the DLC, but dude, oh, I love how Joe and I are just making this eye contact through the mirror. Hey. But no, dude, not being able to drive and shoot is ridiculous. Like, I can understand you being like, okay, you can't use an SMG, you can't use a shotgun, you can't use a rifle, you're driving a fucking car. I'm gonna be like, okay. But a pistol? Dude, you could even make the reload take like 3 times longer, because like, that would make sense in real life. And I would be okay with that. But the fact you can't use your gun at all is so annoying. There's so many times. Maybe it's because of like all the chase missions like this, where like if you could just shoot out a tire, you would just like end the mission and wouldn't be able to script. But it's like driving and shooting was such a big part of Mafia 1. The fact you can't, like, think about Mafia 1 and how many levels ended in a car chase gunfight. Like half of them. But in this one, you've got like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 missions that have car chases, but you can't fucking shoot, and half the time they're shooting at you. I think you have a mission, and it's the one where you and Vito get you and Joe kill Tommy. I'm pretty sure there's one mission, and it's that one. And Joe has a Tommy gun, and he shoots at he won't shoot at the cops. He won't shoot at the cops at all, though. He will shoot at the feds who are after you, which is annoying because him shooting at the feds attracts the cops. And then, because he has a gun, the cops pull out their guns, and then Joe doesn't shoot them. So it's like, what the fuck? So, I know I said that... Okay, I know I said it's kind of a good thing that I think the game is trying to get you like more in the mindset of Vito spending you more time. But I think it's overdone. There's too much of it. I think a lot of the missions are so like they literally add like 5, 10, 20 minutes just with adding like needless stops and driving that it could have easily been skipped because there was like no dialogue or Vito's by himself, or it's like such a short drive. It's like, why the fuck did you even have me drive over here in the first place? So yeah, I like the idea that they had, but I think they went too far with literally you get dressed, you wake up, you get the phone call, you drive to A, you drive to B, you go to C for the mission, you go from C to B, you go from B to A, you go from A to whatever, and it's like, dude, in Tommy's, if this was Mafia 1, you know what you do? You start at A, you go to B, and half the time you don't even go back to A. They just like cutscene you back, or you have a drive and you have like actual dialogue that flippin' matters. So it's like, I don't mind long drives or a lot of driving, but if there's like not dialogue to compensate the time or to fill the time, it's like you're just wasting my time by having me drive. I'm gonna also throw in the bad that they got rid of free ride, because free ride was actually really fun.
Hey, Steve.
Okay, the next thing I have is I feel like they just put a lot of money, not a lot of money, a lot of time into features that literally did not matter. Cause like you can go up to, one sec. You can go up to your trunk and you can open it. Why? Why do I need this? There's a, who is this? I thought this pile of, I thought this was a person like hunched over. But like they have like opening the trunk, you can flip on light switches, you can flush the toilet, you can open windows, and it's like maybe like half of these should have been implemented into the game, but it's so ridiculous. Like how much time they would spend on stuff like that when the rest of the game is the way that, you know, I feel like with all that alcohol right there, that Molly would have. Alright.
Now we go to the foundry.
I feel like, yeah, you're right.
Boys, we'll meet you two at the main.
Why do we even shoot up the building if the whole thing's gonna fucking burn down? But no, like, can I find it? There's none around here. I wanted to find like a window or something, cause like he literally like has a little animation where he like leans over and like pushes it up or down, and I'm like, why? We didn't need this. Nobody was like, oh, Mafia 1 was good, but I can't flush the toilet. Dog. Instead of devoting time to toilet flushes and opening the window, how about you like make the game better? Like, dude, Mafia 2 compared to Mafia 1 is not a good comparison. The last I swear this is the last thing I wrote down for bad. The last thing I wrote down for bad is that I feel like it takes this is my own, this one is fully opinion. I think it takes too long to join the Mafia. Cause I don't think you join the Mafia until chapter 9. Like you have like, you talk to Luca about it like, excuse me, like before you go to prison in like chapter like 3 or 4. And it's like, oh, he's down. Oh. Oh. Damn, Joe is savage. I'm just gonna let my teammate. I'm gonna see how long it takes our teammates to kill all these guys. I have a molly, but yeah, I think me personally, I think it takes way too long to actually join the Mafia, and then I think it doesn't fucking matter at all. Like, you join the Mafia, and it has this scene where everyone's at like the table, and you swear this oath. You're like, this group is more important than family, more important than my life, more important than my country. This is everything. And then you go into the next mission and you kill 2 of those people that were at the table. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, dude, it's called Mafia, and like I guess you could be like the experience with Luca. It was taking him way too long. You could say like the experience with Luca like is a part of the mob experience, you know, like people trying to cheat the lower level ones because they don't know. But like, dude, you could have had that be so much faster, or you could have still had that, and then we joined the Mafia sooner. Because, dude, like, it's actually ridiculous that in a like 15 chapter game you don't join the Mafia until the end, and then it doesn't even matter. It's like, dude, like, I know most of the time we were doing jobs for the mob, but we were just essentially like mercenaries that they were hiring. You'd be like, oh, they were testing you out to see it. Shut up, dude. Name, dude, before like the last like 2 chapters, I don't think I could name like half of the mob bosses. Like right now, I want you to think to yourself, what are the names of the mob bosses? I'll give you like 5 seconds. Cool. Alright, so yeah, it was like Falcone, Clemente, I think the Asians were a gang, and I don't know if that Irish guy counts as one. Dude, I was like, in this game, I had no idea who the hell most of the like upper echelon of the mob is. If it isn't Tony Balls, Vito, Joey, or Steve, or Derek, I don't really know him. I was gonna say Henry, but if you go back, I actually mixed up Henry and Eddie all the time. Like, consistently, I would call Eddie Henry or Henry Eddie. There was probably a little while where I thought they were the same person. But no, dude, it's like, oh, sorry, buddy, you shouldn't have waited for your friend. But I think it took way too long for us to get there. I think the Mafia didn't really matter. You barely meet or are introduced to like the upper echelon. The only ones you know is like Falcone because of like the last 2 missions, and Clemente they mention because of Luca, and you know, you blow him the hell up. That is the only reason I know who those 2 are. I would not have been able to tell you Falcone and Clemente without those. So this is really bad. I'm gonna talk about the DLC now. The only good thing I wrote about the DLC is Joe story tie-in. So yeah, obviously Joe had his own DLC, the Joe's Adventures. Oh, cheap burger. I'll take a cheap hamburger. There's clearly something on there. Well, I hope that's cheese. It's white, but oh yeah, literally the only good thing about the DLCs is that it tells you what Joe was doing while Vito was in jail. That's the only good thing I have to say about the DLCs. Cause, like I said, like, imagine this. Imagine you just beat Mafia 2. Like, you know, it was like an okay game, but they're like, okay, dude, we got 3 DLCs. 2 of them are about a completely new character who hasn't even existed yet. And you're like, holy fuck, yeah, dude. And you spend like 10, 15 bucks on the DLC, and then you buy it and you load up the betrayal of Jimmy, and you get that opening cutscene where it's, to everyone else it was an average Thursday, to me it was the day I got fucked. And then you have to do 30 side quests, 30 missions that were honestly probably cut out of the main game. You literally need to go from A to B. There's a car at B, drive it 50 feet to C, and then turn in mission. Rinse and repeat 12 times. And then the other half were... Alright, dude, this fire is killing me. But then the other half were like, go from A to B. At B, there's 1 to 5 dudes to kill. Kill them, then go to C. And it's like, these are not missions. And then you're like, okay, well, you know, the missions are a little weak, but at least we get a your new character. You get no information on him besides he joins, or he works for the Mafia as like a hitman, essentially. You get, the only like voice acted lines you get are from Jimmy, and you get 2 cutscenes per DLC. So you get 1 cutscene, you do 30 filler. I'm not kidding. There's not one important mission in the 2 Jimmy DLCs. There are literally 30 filler missions that were probably cut out of the main game, and then you get a second cutscene. And then you go to the second DLC, and you're like, okay, well, that was all prep work for Jimmy, right? Now this one's gonna be, it's the same thing. You know what? It's actually worse. It's longer. It's an extra 4 missions. The only good part of the Jimmy's DLC is the last mission, because it's kind of cool. Like, you go to a mansion you didn't get to go to during the main game. You gotta hunt down like his 3 like top guys, and then you gotta kill Judge Hillwood, who by the way was never set up, never talked about. Like, the enemies in this DLC don't really matter. The characters don't matter. And then you look it up and you find out all of Jimmy's DLC is non-canon. It's an alternate version of the 1950s in this or Empire Bay. And it's like, I didn't look this up, I didn't confirm this, but it's like, you guys literally just sold me cut content that you couldn't use. Like, that's what this feels like. This feels like you did not care about the player's experience. You didn't care about any of that. You just wanted to sell some useless crap that you couldn't throw in the game, so you slap DLC on it and charge them 15 bucks. And that's actually disgusting. Especially cuz like this isn't like a 2000 teens game, you know, how we're getting to the point where video games are like this, where it's just like, it used to be you would buy the game and then you would buy a DLC, and the DLC is great. It could almost be a standalone game, but it adds so much to the base game. But then we're getting to the point where it's like, you have the game, you have your pre-order DLC, you have your day 1 exclusive, you have your fucking like extras, you have your side DLC, you got your fucking 50 different endings because that's content. And it's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with having one ending to a game. There's nothing wrong with telling a story and it being a short game. I would rather have Mafia 1, where it's like 10 hours of amazing gameplay, than Mafia 2, where it's like 30 hours of mediocre to bad gameplay. That is like my thought process for the 2 Jimmy's DLC. So yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to read what I wrote. I literally wrote all that, and I wrote, it sucks because the tiny itty bitty bit we get of Jimmy is sad, because Jimmy actually seems like he could have been a cool character. Like, the little you get, like, he still seems like a cool and interesting character. Like, how did he get into the mob? Who are his connections? Does he like know some of these dons? Where did he train? How did he learn how to be so good with guns? What got him here? It's like, you could have had all that. So I don't know if you guys This is if you haven't watched the Jimmy DLC. So imagine, like, right here, there's like a floating icon. You walk up to it and you activate it, and that's how you start your mission. You don't get voice lines. You don't get a cutscene. You get a screen. You just imagine the screen was blank. Sorry. Imagine this screen was a picture, and then they put like a paragraph at the bottom, and it's like, hey dude, these guys are really fucking with us. You gotta go teach them a lesson. And then it'll be like, go teach them a lesson. And this is how you get 60 plus missions between these two DLCs. No dialogue, no cutscenes, nothing. It is new characters, but they are all dealt with within this DLC, and they add nothing. They have no character, no story, and it's like, oh, dude, Eddie Fu. Who the fuck is Eddie Fu? So, yeah, the two Jimmy DLCs were very bad, pathetic. just sorry excuse for what game developers will call a game these days. Oh, nice little. Your fire drum fell over. That's not. Hobo rules number 1: don't knock the fire barrel over. So like, my solution for how they could have made Jimmy's DLC a little bit better is, you know what they could have done? They could have literally had, you know, that phone booth we went up to for this mission? That is, I think that is the only time you ever use the phone in this game, is for this mission, for that one phone call. Every other time you touch the phone, even though Vito knows phone numbers, it'll say you have no one to call right now. So I think for Jimmy's DLC, instead of going to like random spots, oh, turn that off. Instead of going to like random spots, you could have had him go to a phone booth, he picks it up, and then you have some guy read the line. Hey Jimmy, these guys are really fucking with us, man. They're twisting my balls. You gotta get this car for me. It would have been so easy to add a voice line, because you don't have to animate the voice line. Jimmy's body is just Jimmy's head slapped on Vito's body, so all the animations were already done. They wouldn't have had to animate anything. It's literally just Jimmy picks up the phone, and then Jimmy does have his own voice lines, so you could have literally just had him be like, sounds good, or like, got it, or you didn't even need him to say a line. I'm just saying, it would have been so easy with like a tiny bit of effort to at least make these like passable as DLCs, because literally it's just Jimmy. It's Jimmy and you reading a paragraph every 5 minutes, and they're like, oh dude, gameplay. So that's how I would have fixed it. I would have said like, hey, literally go up to a phone booth, have Jimmy like call somebody, because you could be like, how does he have their own? Dude, I don't care. You don't care either. How does Jimmy get the mission in the middle of the fucking sidewalk? You don't care. That's why the phone booth would work. Even then, you could be like, Jimmy, call them and be like, you got a job? Easy, light work. So Joe's DLC, Joe's DLC is a little different than Jimmy's. So Jimmy's is literally cutscene, 30 side missions, cutscene. Excuse me. Joe's is cutscene, 5 missions, or 5 side quests, an actual mission, an actual mission with cutscenes, by the way. 5 side quests, mission, 5 side quests, missions, 5 side quests, mission. So Joe's is a little better because it actually does add the, like, there is an actual mission mixed in with the garbage, the little side quests that don't matter. So that is, oh my god, that's the only good thing about these DLCs, is Joe's ties into main story, and it has a couple actual missions. So the problem is, Joe's DLC, you get to the last 4 missions and they introduce you to this guy named Rocco. You do 3 missions for Rocco, and then he tries to kill you, and he's the final boss of the DLC. And it's like, this dude came out of nowhere. He's never been mentioned before. Nobody knows who the fuck this is. And now he's like, why do we... The ending was garbage. They clearly just didn't know how to end the DLC. That dude ran into me. Okay, he didn't die, but that dude ran into me. I feel like... Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Another... I just thought of this because we drove past a gun store. But, so I complimented Mafia 1. I was like, okay, Mafia 1 makes you take one sidearm and one main gun. You either get your Tommy gun, your shotgun, or your sniper. But in this game, you can have as many guns as you want. You know what the problem is? There's no weapon wheel. There's no... You can't like pull up a wheel and pick the weapon you want. You have to go nope, 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 nope. Yep. Fuck. So, no weapon wheel is atrocious. something that seems like it would be kind of rare, but it actually came up a lot, is the fact that if I... One sec, I'll just show you. If I shoot this gun, if I shoot this last bullet, and then I try to switch to another gun, because switch to your sidearm, it's faster than reloading. If I try to do that, Vito will reload his current gun before pulling out the other gun. So it's not even like his reload overrides my choice, because he will finish the reload and then he'll still switch to the second gun, which defeats the purpose of me wanting to switch to the second gun. Like, shoot, switch. Oh, I switched to unarmed, so he just put it away. So I gotta scroll down. Okay, watch. Shoot, down. See, he still has to reload the pistol, and then he puts it away and pulls out the new one. It's like, one or the other. Either do the reload and cancel out my swap, or do the swap and cancel out the reload. Like, you don't know how many times you probably do know, actually, but I was in a gunfight, and I would, like, I think you can have, like, 8... like SMG assault rifle type weapons. So you would finish the first one, you're like, okay, I want to switch to the next one, keep going. But then the game, yeah, look at that. You're not suspecting he's hot wiring something, but it's like, what the fuck's up with you guys? But it's like, dude, one or the other. Don't do both. Don't waste my time. I want to try and think. One of those things they added that I felt like didn't really need to be added was gas stations. Your car, if you look at the speedometer right in the bottom middle, your car can run out of gas. So you have to go to gas stations and go through a cutscene where the dude fills up your tank, and it's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in a video game that involves cars. Besides, like, PUBG, I don't know if I've ever played a video game with cars that makes you acknowledge gas. So, oh, shit. Sorry, the radio. There's so many copywritten songs on the radio. If you've been watching my series, and you'll notice like an abrupt cut, or there's like a minute of just like silence, that's because of a copywritten song. And I think I said this in one of the episodes, I would rather lose that part of the video than have like a whole group of people be unable to view like episode 5, but they can see 4 and 6. Like, I would rather have everyone get 99% of the story than like 50% of people get the whole story. By the way, here's the gas station cutscene.
Evening, mister. Full tank, please. Be done in a jiffy.
Did you know that in New Jersey, you still can't pump your own gas? In New Jersey, it's like this. There is a gas pump attendant. I've heard it's nice in the winter because you don't got to get out to fill up your car, but it's like, dude, let me fill up my fucking car. Like, maybe it was first introduced to like make jobs or something, but we don't need gas station attendants. Alright, whatever. That is... I think that's everything I have to say about the game. If I had to rate this game out of 10... If I had to rate this game out of 10, I would probably give it like a 5. If I was rating the DLCs, it's a 2. The DLCs are 2 out of 10. The game itself, like 5 out of 10. That really sucks because I'm pretty sure I gave Mafia 1 like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. But, you know, sometimes you strike gold on the first swing and you just never live up to that hype again. I don't know. We'll get to Mafia 3. We'll judge Mafia 3. Mafia 3's bad. It's not as good. Because Mafia 3 combines the DLC of this game with the story of this game. Which means, instead of just... Okay, Mafia 1, mission. Mafia 2, warm-up, mission, cooldown. Warm-up, mission, cooldown. Mafia 3, side mission. It's like Saints Row, where you have to do a bunch of... God, what's the term for like repeatable throwaway missions that nobody cares about? Whatever, you have to do a bunch of those to like take over the area, and then you fight like the main boss of the area and you get it. So that's what Mafia 3 is from what I remember. One last thing, I just remembered this. A lot of the NPCs are duplicates. Like there's so few NPCs in this game, it feels like. You could look at the side of the road and see like 3 of the same person like walking side by side. So that was kind of lame. In the cutscenes, the only chick that like ever appears is this chick over here. I want to show you her face just so you know what I'm talking about. This chick is like the only chick that appears in any cutscenes besides the hooker that Eddie like trash talks. Hey babe, you want me to buy you some? What's going on with your heels? Do you guys see that? What the hell? Okay, whatever. That's it. That's all I had to say about Mafia 2. Unfortunately, not even close to as good as Mafia 1. DLC were very poor. We 100% them, except for Joe. I don't know. I think that's the collectibles, because you know what? You know what I actually noticed? Somebody's gonna clown me for saying this, but you know what I noticed? These 3 chicks are chicks from the other Playboy, like the main game Playboys. Like this chick is new, but these 3 are repeats. So it's like, why did you add collectibles to the DLC if they're the same collectibles that are in the main game? I would rather have it be like 5 collectibles of new chicks, new things, than 19 things where most of them are copies. Like I'm not gonna open it because then I'm gonna have to fucking censor it. I'm not gonna go to the other one because you saw me. You trust me. You guys know me. Okay, but whatever. That's gonna do it for Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. Right now, me and Scrimmy, we're still doing Master Chief. I think we're on the library. We're actually gonna do that tonight. We just haven't been doing it because we work together on overnight shift. So doing like a 3-hour mission or like a 2.5-hour mission means we're going to be up till like 7:30 in the morning. So we've been saving that for the weekend, which is why there hasn't been a Halo mission in a week or two. But I could still change this. I could still change it. But I believe Mafia 1 is going to be the next game series. I don't know how long it is. I know it's going to be kind of a lot of reading compared to the other games, but Fallout is definitely one of my favorite series. I love Fallout 3. I love Fallout New. I like Fallout New Vegas. I've never finished it because of game breaks. I mostly played it on 360, so bugs were a lot more often, so maybe I'll beat it next time I try it, but I've never finished a New Vegas playthrough. And I love Fallout 4. I have so much time in Fallout 4. I know I'm going to get clowned for that, but I don't think Fallout 4 is a bad game. I think the story is weak, but I don't think it's a bad game. But dude, Dude, unironically, look at Fallout 3's story and then tell me Fallout 4 is bad. Like, Fallout 3, it's, whatever. That's for a different time. This is probably the longest review I've had because I actually had shit to say. But, yeah, honestly, you don't have to take this seriously. You guys can form your own opinions. This is just what I encountered and what I think after beating the game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed Mafia 2. 5 out of 10. It had its moments, but it definitely had its lows. But whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a good one, and I hope I'll see you next time in the next series. See ya.